Henry Alfred Kissinger is one of the most prominent American politicians and the recipient of the 1973 Nobel Peace Prize. He held key positions in the United States government during the Cold War with the USSR and the Vietnam War. Although he left office by the early 1980s, his opinions are still influential to this day. He is one of the most controversial figures of the Cold War era. The question of why he was awarded the Nobel Prize remains a subject of debate. Kissinger was initially a proponent of a hardline policy in Vietnam, and in 1969 to 1970, he even helped plan the first American bombings of the country, which resulted in the loss of at least 100,000 lives. But after that, his opinion changed, at least officially. He began work on the famous Paris Peace Agreement, 1972, which ended the bloody Vietnam War for the United States, the North, which supported the communist camp, against the South, which supported the capitalists. Under the terms of the agreement, the United States withdrew all its troops from Vietnam in exchange for the release of all American prisoners of war by North Vietnam. However, after their signing, the war did not end. In parallel with his participation in the Paris negotiations, he was one of the most senior participants in the development of Operation Menu, which assumed the bombing of Cambodia. Why was it necessary to bomb Cambodia? During the unfolding of the Civil War in South Vietnam, in which the United States later actively intervened, the Cambodian territory was actively used by the guerrillas of the National Liberation Front of South Vietnam and units of North Vietnam. US President Lyndon Johnson banned American ground units from operating in Cambodia, as this would violate its formal neutrality. North Vietnamese forces, not bound by such restrictions, created a network of base camps and depots in the eastern regions of the country, where they retreated after each serious defeat in South Vietnam to replenish losses and rest. After the enemy fired rockets at Saigon in early March, which was interpreted by the American side as another violation of the agreements, Nixon made the final decision to strike. Very few people in the American administration knew about these airstrikes. In Air Force press releases, all bombing operations in Cambodia were presented as ordinary operations in South Vietnam, and even the US Congress did not know about them. In the spring of 1970, after the pro-American government in Cambodia was overthrown and the Civil War escalated sharply, American troops invaded the country and Operation Menu became meaningless. It ended in May. Over the course of a little over a year, 3,630 combat sorties were carried out and 108,000 tons of bombs were dropped. In total, about 30,000 people died as a result of these actions. In 1973, Kissinger received the Nobel Peace Prize. The award was given with the wording, "in recognition of his merits in connection with the ceasefire in Vietnam." Together with Kissinger, the North Vietnamese diplomat Le Duc Tho received the prestigious award, but he refused it, stating that peace had not come and he did not surrender to these capitalist awards. Kissinger did not go to the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. He received it immediately after the post-war situation in Vietnam was settled.